Hey, hi, hello everyone. So I know there's a lot of new players to the game right now with Build 42 coming out and all. And I heard some people needed a good combat guide. So I figured I'd make this relatively short video. And I say relatively short because Zomboid Combat, like all of Zomboid, has a lot to it. There's layers, right? It's an onion. But I'm going to do my best to sum it up simply for everybody, yet also make it pretty thorough. I'd like to note that I don't do any technical testing with code or any such. I'm just a dedicated gamer and a Zomboid enthusiast. And I'm not going to give you too many numbers. I'm just going to explain things explicitly pertaining to combat, how things work, how to get things done. And that all being said, let's get right into it. I'll start by quickly explaining the new Build 42 mechanic, Muscle Strain. Muscle Strain is a mechanic in Zomboid that acts like real life. As you use parts of your body repetitively, those parts get tired, such as your upper arm, your forearm, your hands, your legs, your thighs, etc. And when those parts get tired, you cannot use them as quickly or as effectively. If you continue to use them anyway, the muscle strain will continue to worsen in stages, and your speed and effectiveness will worsen as the stages progress. Muscle strain takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to go away, so not doing anything that builds up muscle strain for that time. Muscle strain is also affected by what weapon you're using based off its weight and its endurance. So roughly, the lighter the weapon, the longer it will take for it to add on muscle strain to a limb. And the heavier, the faster those limbs will acquire muscle strain. Make sure when you wield a two-handed weapon, it is in fact in two hands, because that matters too. Muscle strain builds per zombie hit. So if you have multi-hit on in the settings, keep this in mind, because if you hit 3 zombies at once, it's effectively the same as hitting the same zombie 3 times in a row. And finally, muscle strain is reduced by 2 things: your skill level in the particular weapon type that you are currently using, and your strength level. Each level reduces your muscle strain buildup by a set amount. This goes for strength and the skill level. Alright, let's quickly go over weapons as well. There are 6 different weapon categories you can level: short blade, long blade, short blunt, long blunt, axes, and spears. Now, 2 of these weapon types, short blades and spears, have special attacks that always one-shot instant kill, but they only have a chance to activate if the conditions are right. Mainly, that the particular zombie that you are attacking is alone. Or at least sort of. They just need to be a certain amount of tiles away from any other zombie. If they are, then that enables the chance for the special attack. And the distance for that seems to be shorter for the spear and longer for the knife, but don't quote me. For the knife special, you want to get a little closer than is particularly fun, but it is necessary. And for the spear special attack, it seems to trigger more often towards the edge of the spear's reach. All weapon damage and durability vary by what actual weapon you are using, as well as your maintenance skill. Basically, the higher your maintenance skill, the longer it will take for any weapon you are using in any category to break. And most weapons can be repaired. Oh, it's terribly tempting to go off on a crafting and utility tangent right now, but we're gonna stay focused. Combat. Although I will make a little side note to keep in mind that axes, blades, and spears will all damage a zombie's clothing when used on them. So if you spot some drip or an upgrade you'd like to keep nice for yourself, make sure to take them out with blunt weapons or stomps, as these do no damage to zombie clothing. Alright, now that we've covered weapon basics, I've separated Zomboid Combat into 5 main categories, and hopefully they sum it up well. and hopefully this is a good order to introduce them to you in. Section 1, Effectiveness. So effectiveness, there are a few different factors that play into basically how much damage your character can do, as well as how fast they can move. So obviously, whatever particular weapon you are using, its individual stats come into play. Also, its sharpness comes into play if it has sharpness, as well as your level in whatever weapon type, but also, and far more importantly, your moodles. Moodles are the indicators for nearly everything your character is experiencing: emotions, physical pain, temperature, etc. You know those circles with pictures on the right side of your screen? Yeah, those bad boys. Each moodle progresses in 4 stages. Each stage the moodle progresses to has more potent effects on your character than the last. Each moodle plays their part in how effective at combat your character currently is. There are 4 big contributors here that you want to watch out for. Number 1, your endurance moodle, how much energy you have. Number 2, your fatigue moodle, how sleepy your character is. Number 3, your pain moodle, how much pain you're in. Number 4, muscle strain level. Now, admittedly, this isn't a moodle, but actually a status effect visible in your health tab. I recommend taking the health tab and putting it on your screen somewhere that you deem worthy, and leaving it there and just up in the right corner of it, toggling it to just tab up whenever you click away, just like the rest of your inventory. This allows you quick mouse whip access to check your status and bandage wounds more quickly. I'd say there's a 5th big player moodle to look out for here in regards to combat, but I'm just gonna say right now, stage 1 heavy moodle isn't the absolute worst. But if you're at stage 2 over encumbered, and you foresee dealing with more than 2 Zeds at a time between rests, then I highly recommend dropping something and coming back for it later if you want to be safe rather than sorry. Each one of these moodles, on its own, can, if at max stage, reduce your damage to nearly nothing. And I mean that, to nearly nothing. To the point where one lone Zed is nearly impossible to take down. So keep a close eye on your moodles. Don't let them stack up with each other too much, and don't let one of them get too far. It could cost you everything if you do. Outside of moodles, your fitness level and your strength level directly affect combat. Strength increases your carry capacity, but more importantly here, your melee damage and your ability to push down zombies. Fitness though, fitness is brutally crucial here in my opinion. In Build 42, it feels like your endurance drains in an instant. So your fitness directly affects your overall endurance, your endurance recovery rate, and its strain rate, as well as your attack speed. All very crucial things for taking down Zeds. And your endurance affects how much overall damage you do. Each level you become more tired, you do less damage. It also affects how fast you swing your weapon, and critically, how fast you can move. If you push your character too far, and you can't outwalk the Zeds anymore, it's nearly a guarantee that you're a goner. So, as a typical rule, I don't recommend continuing any fight for an instant longer if you hit the 3rd stage of endurance loss, which is excessive exertion, as once you reach this stage, you will no longer be able to jog or even power walk. Things could get really hairy really quick if you don't have a way out already set up. And finally, your skill level with whatever particular weapon type you are using, each level increases your attack speed, damage, crit chance, and decreases muscle strain buildup for that weapon type. Section number 2, Understanding the Zeds. By default, Zeds have 2 different potential speeds they can have. I would say 3, but there seems to be only 2 now in Build 42 at the moment. There was Slow Shamblers in Build 41, but Maybe they're still there and it's just not in the settings or something. I don't know. I'm confused on that one at the moment. But we can guarantee that there are fast shamblers and regular shamblers. So fast-ish and slow-ish. They have 3 different potential levels of how well they can hear: poor, normal, and pinpoint, as well as 3 different potential levels of how well they can see: poor, normal, and eagle. With default settings, these are all set to random in build 42. Zombies also migrate every 12 hours. So what do these settings mean? These settings create a spread out wave and trickle in sort of effect. For the zombies, as you take on and defeat a pile of them, the pinpoint hearing Zeds will hear the combat from way far away. And maybe 1 or 2 normal hearing zombies catch on. And then between those, the fast shamblers will get to you first, whereas the slow shamblers will show up later, probably right as you're finishing up with the fast ones. As your battle moves around and you make noise standing in different tiles, different level hearing zombies will hear you, as well as different level vision zombies might see you. And again, some might come fast and some might take a while. This whole process can make the incoming zombies feel absolutely endless. Which, by default, they are, if respawn is on. I actually recommend turning this setting off, generally speaking. However, do whatever you like. There is absolutely no wrong way to play this game. Anywho, unless you remove all 4 tires from a vehicle, zombies will crawl right under them. When a zombie falls over a fence, if you're close enough to them when they fall, they will have a chance to do a fence lunge forward at you, which can stagger you as well as knock you down. It will never cause a bite though, but it can lead to one, so be careful. Regardless of whatever default speed a zombie may be, they will always speed up to the same speed when they get within a couple tiles of you and start to lunge forward at you. Zombie hearing and vision is affected by weather. Not all Zeds are the same. Zombie toughness, aka their health, is random by default, as well as their strength. And finally, when a zombie is on the ground, they take massively more damage. But where you hit them affects your damage to them too, so aim for the head. Section 3. Movement and Combat. Movement in combat could probably be considered the most important thing to practice at, as one microscopic wrong move at the wrong time can end it all. When you hold your weapon at the ready and move, aka combat walking, you train your nimble skill, an incredible imperative skill as it defines how fast you move when combat walking. It can get to the point where you can combat walk backwards and still outpace the Zeds. I can't express how helpful this skill is, so combat walk more than necessary. Train that bad boy up, I say. Unless you're utterly exhausted or have a lower body injury, your basic walk is faster than the zombies. Keep that in mind and try to walk more than you jog to save on endurance. Pushing, aka spacebar, this is your go-to save all. Watch how close I'll let this Zed get to nabbing me, and I'll hit spacebar at the last moment. Melee swinging when they are close will automatically switch the swing to a shove. However, if they are really close, like clawing at your neck close, that spacebar is your only ally. Use it, abuse it, don't forget it. It'll save your life. Now, shoving Zeds with spacebar causes less muscle strain buildup than swinging. Now, when dealing with slightly more spread out zombies, try to push them down before hitting them to create the opportunity to stand on them and smash them while they're down and get that sweet damage bonus. The basic strategy for fighting larger groups of Zeds assuming there's no fence nearby, is to, simply put, continuously back up while swinging your weapon. Now, while also taking tiny moments to either stop or even combat walk forward just a little bit to keep your weapon swings at a consistent and optimal distance to land every swing. Now, while doing this, you also need to be ever at the ready to jog away very quickly if they get too close. Then you turn around and restart the process. Now, it is also incredibly wise to occasionally do a little 360 safety spin to have a quick look at your surroundings and make sure no other Zeds are approaching you from behind you while you do this, as you're backing up most of the time and you won't be able to see what's behind you. So you gotta make sure to check. Clear is great, but if you spot more approaching, however, then you'll need to reorient yourself and add the new Zeds to the group you're already fighting and remove them from being behind you. With this in mind, we come to another point. When fighting Zeds, be aware of where your battle takes you. If there is at all an area you know to be already cleared of Zeds, or safer in general, try to make sure that you're backing up in the direction of safety. This will lessen the likelihood of Zeds coming up behind you. Okay, in the early game, it will be tough and potentially awkward, as you aren't going to be able to take on many zombies at first until you gain some skill levels in any particular weapon category, as well as until you exercise for strength and fitness, assuming you didn't happen to bring those traits along to begin with. And on top of not being able to handle many at a time at first, you won't have any area you know to be safe already to fight on the edges of. You will have to create one, or go to the edges of town, or simply find a quiet spot if you're really lucky. But I do highly recommend sneaking in the beginning and doing your best to only aggro a few at a time, taking it step by step. Although do keep in mind that the first zombies you do fight, combat causes sound, and sound brings in more Zeds. And as we know, it's going to bring them in from varying distances. It's chaos. So take it easy in the beginning and move slow. And remember to rest between each little fight. Which brings us to section 4, recovery. In general, it's just a good idea to top up the tank from time to time. But especially if you're pushing into zombie territory and you don't know what's a-coming. And especially now in build 42, where it feels like your endurance is gone in a blink. Take every moment you can find to have a sit down anywhere you can. And I'm gonna say, don't stress corpse sickness too much. It takes quite a long time to build up. But, be safe. You can grab finite moments using shift while sitting down. If you're holding shift, when you get up from sitting down, you will get up much, much faster. Fast enough even to push away a Zed when you're still sitting down and they start their close range lunge walk. Keep in mind, you will always get up and face the direction of the first keys used to get you up, so make sure you face the Zed. Getting a little extra endurance back in the little moments that you can sneak it in can be the difference between life and death. So try and keep it at the front of your mind. Running low on endurance is a lightning fast way to find yourself in a lethal situation. Don't get caught slacking on sitting. And finally, section 5, situationally aware. In Zomboid, being situationally aware is key. You can't always know what's coming, but you can make a dang good prediction of how much your character can handle. With the right knowledge, experience really helps too, but trying to remember to occasionally assess things is vitally important. How much gas does my car have? How sleepy is my character? Did I just turn hungry enough to lower my overall carry weight enough to encumber me? Oh shoot, now I'm heavy. Etc. Now, whether you like fighting into the crippling darkness of night, or heading home in time to make supper and have a little R&R, it's easy to lose track of how far you've gone from someplace supplied and safe. Keep an eye on where you are relative to someplace that you know is safe. And remember to watch them moodles. Project Zomboid is a moment-to-moment game. Always take things slow when unfamiliar, and never go AFK. The Zeds have a way of sneaking up when you thought you knew the coast was clear. And lastly, know when to call a fight over, even if they're still coming, and get the heck out of there. Okay, so those were the 5 main sections, but I do have some bonus tips for you, and maybe they fit into one of the sections, maybe they didn't. They're bonuses. Okay, bonus tip number 1. Kill boxes. You can either pick up things like office desk dividers, or you can use logs and rags, or planks and nails if your carpentry's high enough, to build short fences. Now, you build them into a box form, something kinda like this. You know, basically. There's actually a ton of different ways to build these, but I'll just give you the main concept, and I'll leave you guys to use your own imagination to build and use this strategy how you may. This short fence box is in essence just creates a tactical zone where it's more efficient to kill the zombies. As we learned earlier, the Zeds take lots more damage when on the ground, and when any Zed encounters a short fence, they proceed to flop over it and fall to the ground, without you having to exert the energy to push them down. If you shove yourself flush against the fence and face away from the approaching Zeds, 2 things happen. 1, when they topple over the fence, you will already be facing the right direction to smash them on the head immediately. And 2, you are nearly untouchable to any fence lunge coming from that same tile. They will just lunge past you most of the time. However, keep in mind that lunges from adjacent tiles will still get you. Also, keep in mind to use whatever key you have set for forcing your character to attack downward. Make sure and use that while using this strat, as to not get messed up. Additionally, using a double layer fence will guarantee that the zombies' lunge cannot get you. And this is a great way to take out larger hordes. Bonus tip 2, don't skip leg day. When in longer battles and you need to save your strength, remember to spread out your muscle strain buildup into your legs by stomping zombies when you can, rather than swinging at them. Spare those arms a precious moment, would you? Bonus tip 3. Of all the items in Zomboid, there is only one in the entire game I know of to automatically restore endurance. Ginsig, Ginsig, Ginsig. Now, say your character isn't sleepy, but yet you got carried away and got all drained of your endurance. You're exhausted. And when you know it, there's swarms of hungry undead behind you. Well, you're probably dead, right? R.I.P. F's in the chat. Calling it, right? Wrong. There may come a day when the strength of your legs fail, but it is not this day. This day, you whip out that sacred stack of ginseng you were keeping in your pack, and as fast as you can manage, you walk and nom it all, gaining just enough endurance to make some space between you and the Zeds. You run and duck behind some trees on the edge of the forest and sneak away to safety. You live to fight another day. All because you took the time to forage some ginseng. Foraging for the win. Go you. Bonus tip number 4. Ultimately, like all things in life, experience is the best teacher, and practice is your greatest ally. You will make mistakes and you will die. Just try to take some learning lesson from each death. And then that death becomes a win. And you become a more experienced survivor. Remember that the point of gaming is to have fun. So have fun. Mess around with the settings. Make the game easier if you need to while you get the hang of things. Play the game the way you want to play the game. Hey everyone. Obviously there's some things I left out to sum things up, but there's so much to Zomboid and so many angles to be looked at and so many perspectives in the world. So if there's some key things that you think I missed, or maybe you just have an awesome tip, let me the heck know down in the comments. If you decided to hang around for the entire video, it is really much appreciated. Thank you for your time. It's really cool. I am Silver Pike, and I'm super new to video creation. So I truly hope that you all enjoyed this video as much as I'm enjoying learning how to make them. And if it was helpful, maybe consider smacking that old like button if you're, savvy. But that is gonna do it for me though. It's on to the next one. So cheers everybody, and peace out.